Something that is getting lost in the shuffle with everything that's been going on with the Blazers' moves is you move on from Ant, you move on from DeAndre Ayton, and something that this front office and the head coaching staff has preached with every move that they make, whether it be in the draft or otherwise, is culture.
Mm-hmm.
Culture. And the thing with DeAndre Ayton, that the good and the bad, the good was when he was checked in, he was as good as anybody, man. He looked like a number 1 overall draft pick.
I want to add another thing to that because DA is going to get drugged because of stuff that he's done. When the Blazers drafted Donovan Clingan last year, my first thought was, oh, crap.
Yep.
And, outside of DC, it was like, DA is not going to take this very well. DA, this is not me shilling for the team. This is me being around DA and DC all season. DA legitimately took DC under his wing and propped him up and gave him love and was like, I want him out there. I want to work with him. I want to see him do well. And behind the scenes, that was also true. Like he could have acted very differently than he did. But DA does have all the other stuff. There are nights when
there's not nights, stretches.
Oh no,
he will check out, and that is
he walks in and you go like he comes in pregame and I can go, oh, he's not here right now.
Yeah, the culture fit of what the Blazers are trying to build. Drew Holiday fits that more than Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons is not a bad culture guy by any means.
God, no.
But he fits the culture on the floor far better than, or Drew Holiday does far better than Anthony Simons does.
That Drew is he's not the centerpiece, but he's your leadership centerpiece. And that is something since they traded away Damian Lillard, they did not have. That's part of the reason they kept Malcolm around and why they wanted to keep Rob around. Is that those are two, like Rob is a guy who had been through it. Malcolm's a guy who was the president of the NBPA. Like these are pros. And so you wanted to have those guys in the locker room be a part of the organization as part of that culture fit.
CJ was also president of the NBAPA.
Yes. I will say one gets a little more respect than the other on that front. But with the culture part of it, it's culture, it's mentality, it's tone setting, and it's defense. I mean, this Blazers team, I don't know how they're going to score effectively, and by God, do they need shooting? But I've talked to scouts, execs, coaches over the last week plus since basically they traded for Giroux. They're like, you guys are going to be hell to play against on a nightly basis. Like when we see that on the road trip, I was talking to one Eastern Conference exec. We were like, yeah, if we end a road trip in Portland, we're just going to mark it as a loss. Like, cause it's just, we know like what we're coming into is just going to be at the end of a 6-game a West Coast road swing from Philly. They're like, that's going to suck. And now, is that one of those games where we're worried about how many points they're going to score? No, but we know that we're going to get pulled into the mud at the end of a 6 and 13 day trip and we're going to want to die. And he goes, that's a pretty good starting point of like what you're trying or what they're trying to build. And then they had the exact same questions though. Like, I don't know how the hell they're going to score.
No,
like that's
nope.
If they're playing in the half court all the time, you're going to see a lot of packed paint and you're going to have to really have some guys figure some stuff out on the shooting front. But defensively, mentality, culture wise, it's not grit and grind Grizzlies, but it's not full on Houston Rockets. It's probably smack dab in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to be.
This is going to be fascinating to see what it looks like from the Portland Trail Blazers. I have my questions about what a move looks like for this offseason and heading into next year. You can clear up all the money you want. A player who was more than serviceable when he was there for you
certainly
is now no longer on the roster. Your scoring punch is now in Boston. But Shams Charania of ESPN and several other NBA insiders are saying, expect fireworks tonight. What does that look like across the league? Taking Portland out of it, because we talked about this briefly. The Hornets just sent Yusuf Nurkic to Utah. Utah is now waiving and buying out Jordan Clarkson.
And it sounds like he's going to end up signing with the Knicks.
There is a lot of movement that's already happening, and it's not even, 3 o'clock Pacific time is when
kickoff.
When everything ramps up. This is about to get gnarly, according to all of the insiders.